apologize for the misleading date. I had to wait for the horse to move out of the communications block. They seem to have realized that I frequented that area. So instead, it is now Monday, 11:26 at the time of recording. I have no idea when this will actually get out, but hopefully it'll happen fairly quickly. So, a bit of a preface to the explanation. Neotonin 4 is a virus, as I'm sure you all know. This being said, Neotonin 4 was an attempt to use our previous viral bases to make a proper cure for cancer. Neotonin 3 failed in this aspect as it cured cancer, but ended up causing rampant growths akin to cancer in its own right. Where are my papers here? Neotonin was to cure cancer, or rather, Neotonin 4 was to cure the cancer and fix the cause for it, whether it be the organ itself or maybe just a single aberrant cell. There were rumors that alternate reasons were the source for Neotonin 4's creation as a sort of booster for militaries, but I haven't found any corroborating evidence in the aftermath of this catastrophe. That being said, I have not had free reign of the facility due to the, as far as I know, everybody here has been so in a normal human being, Neotonin 4 infection results in the host's body eventually completely failing, starting with the nervous system not being able to handle the radical changes made to it. As one would expect, the immune system did not accept these changes so readily. Not like the practically borderline miracle drug N2. That one was a complete success. The subject dies in roughly 30 minutes. The neotonin inside the body itself undergoes a mutation, breaking down into something more akin to N1. I don't have any samples of N1 to compare them to, so I can't actually confirm this, but it definitely resembles the structure from what I've seen. I was brought on after N1. But that was our first failure. Subject reanimation occurs within 45 minutes to an hour 15 from my observations. The host is effectively brain dead at this point, and only rampant insomnia is making English difficult. Only this incessant rampant hunger remains to fuel further regeneration and mutations. So, my hypothesis for the immunity is as stated. In 2016, 2,500 volunteers volunteered their DNA for study, and of these, 50 or exactly 2% were discovered to have a complete genetic blueprint for a virus inside of a strand of it. It's well known that viral DNA exists in human bodies due to ancient viral infections. This is a given. But this was the first time a complete one from head to tail was found. It is, as I mentioned before, my hypothesis that this viral strand is what causes immunity. Perhaps neotonin 4 somehow stimulates production of this from one's DNA. It certainly explains why roughly 2% of the human race is immune from the radical changes that N4 causes. Due to experiments I performed in my own blood, externally of course, I'm not going to inject myself with this, I have discovered that I am not immune to neotonin 4, so I can't confirm if my hypothesis is correct, but this one is the most likely. As I explained before, neotonin 4 will break down to something to neotonin 1. From what I can see, for those who possess this immunity, neotonin 4 will cause an observed death, but it will break down into something more akin to neotonin 2, in which case it will actually fix the damage. But I have not reasoned out why the host is brought back to life in a way, or I say brought back to life, they don't properly die with this. Maybe the neurotonin 4 is converted to neurotonin 2 before the host becomes catatonic, but the host does suffer a brief mental breakdown of sorts. I have discovered a journal of one of my fellow researchers who was suffering from the initial infection, and damn it, Frank, I wish you were here. He was able to jot down the effects of what was going on with him. He had fever, he was extremely hungry, which corroborates the fueling of regeneration and mutations. His speech, or his writing, eventually degraded into very simple sentences, and at the end it kind of turned into scribbles. Thanks to him jotting down notes, I was able to discover that about 2 hours later, he woke up and felt really good. He apparently had a really bad fever, and that the fever was gone when he woke up. So this is cause for further research for sure. As for the second part of the question I posed, I'll go with one of the more interesting mutations observed, one even observed here in the bunker as well as on the surface from what I can see. I believe you'd call these mutated mothers, an apt name if I do say so. While pregnancy itself is not the cause for the mutation, not directly at least. As you can see from the forms, these were indeed pregnant women. However, the cause is actually sourced from the fetus and placenta. There is a gene that causes production of a protein, not hormone, called hemo, which is then given to the mother and cycled back to the fetus and placenta, so on and so forth rather. This causes N4 to recognize, quote unquote, the fetus as foreign and as a cancer. This kills the fetus quite rapidly, as it turns out, and attempts to regrow the now dead child reabsorb, not regrow, the now dead child to fuel the radical mutations sparked by the hemo protein. And, well, I'm sure you've seen the grotesque result as a failure of this absorption. The fetus is brought back to life by neurotonin 4, but half absorbed, it grows in tandem with the mother, and the womb is repurposed. These parasites are quite irritating, as they seem to plague the entire undead population, which suggests something a bit, a connection that I had not yet seen, but it's particularly plaguing these quote-unquote mothers. Well, it looks like my time is up. I can hear some loud stomping. Seems one of the mutated has been attracted to my position. Stay safe. Good luck.